Unlock the door, bitch. I'm on my way, and I got chicken strips.
I don't know why they call them chasers. It's not like Chubs can run real fast.
Double vodka with hot brownie chasers.
She just wanted to watch me eat it. Naked.
I can't say that. That's dirty.
Chasers will do anything to get into your pants. I love them.
Stop it! Stop!
Oh,
God!
Well,
Chubs
happy
Gone
holidays.
Wild.
It is time for another Chubs Gone Wild. This is episode 572, recorded on Monday, December 23rd, 2024. We are at that point. It is Christmas Eve, and we have waited all year to get here. And now we're here, and it's going so quickly. Yes or no?
Not for me.
Yeah, going pretty slow or pretty good?
Fine, it's good. It's good. Yeah.
Excellent. That's what we want to hear. It's currently 63 degrees and getting ready to rain in Chubland, where it is two Christmases and two Christmases. It's 2 days until Christmas and Hanukkah. It is 3 days till Kwanzaa and Boxing Day, 9 until New Year's Day, and 312 days until Halloween. Do-do-do-do. We're already 1/5 of the way there, kind of, sort of, in a roundabout way. Well, today, we seem to be a week ahead with these, but whatever. Let's see. Today, our affirmation: every thought I think and every word I speak is an affirmation for my future. Oh, that's sweet. I am rich. I am successful. I am,
Thin.
well, yeah, go for that one too.
Oh, well, you're not either the other two either. So, I mean, not
If
really,
I'm
really.
if I'm rich and I'm successful, then I can get some I can take care of the thin, right? Isn't that how it works?
I wish.
Yeah. So, all right. Hey, Patreon offers folks a way to support creators who receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Sausage from the Universe, Eric, Sean, Charles, Phoenix Dave, Brother Sinatus, Kingsley, Kathy Bacon, and Moose P. Please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame to find out how you can support the show for as little as $1 a month. All right. Well, today in history, on December 23rd, 1823, a visit from St. Nicholas, perhaps the most famous and influential Christmas poem ever, is published in the Troy Sentinel newspaper in New York by an anonymous author. Called arguably the best known verses ever written, it would shape the modern image of Santa Claus as a right jolly old elf who travels through the air in a reindeer-powered sleigh on Christmas Eve, bounding down chimneys after children are asleep to leave them holiday gifts. Yay! Speaking of holidays, let's see what we may have celebrated today. Oh my goodness, they're getting less and less. I don't know what's happening to the holidays. Today is apparently Festivus. Whatever. I don't know why that annoys me so much, but whatever. It's also Human Light. Oh, I don't get it.
You have a problem with Festivus and Human Light is okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Human Light is, so I'm not angered by it. Well, I mean, I'm not angered by the other. I just find it annoying. It's also National Bake Day. Did all my baking kind of this weekend. How about you?
No, I'm doing it right now.
Really?
Hello Dollies are in the oven.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Oh, let's see. It's National, really, Pfeffermus Day. Okay. Pfeffer, isn't that like rabbit?
Haas and Pfeffer's rabbit.
Right. So I don't know what Pfeffer news. Anyway, it's also National Roots Day. I watched that.
Oh, I thought it meant you were to do your roots for
Yeah,
the holidays.
I don't know. I don't know. Crazy, crazy shit. Okay. Let's see. Next up, we have some birthdays coming up. And so happy birthday to the people that will show up on my screen eventually here, right? Oh, there we go. Happy birthday to Malin. Yay. And then we also have happy birthday to Michael, David, Stephen, Matthew Rudrington over at boyculture.com. We have Princess Penelope, Mark, Gary. Oh, Gary, he was formerly of that Cocktails and Cream Puffs podcast. Cocktails and Cream Puffs podcast.
Now that's 3 words?
No, it's four.
4 words, okay.
It was actually written into a writer. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. We also have Tim from Tim and James, the Taste Like Bernie podcast, which, oh goodness, they have changed their name to a different. I'm sorry, Tim. I don't remember. I'll get on that. Also, we have Mikey, Jacqueline, and Kelly. Happy birthday, y'all. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful exiting of the birth canal. And no, I don't seal segments. All right. We do have some feedback, starting with Sean, who says, I'm with Ariana Grande. Let's stop commenting on each other's physical appearances, whether it's celebrities or otherwise. And then Mark, I'm totally agree, totally down with that. And then Mark says, hey guys, I have a movie recommendation for you. We watched this movie a while back. It was so funny, English humor, called Wicked Little Lies. Hope you enjoy it. Scott.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. But that's from Scott and Mark. And thank you guys.
Mhm.
I'm gonna make a little note of it so I don't forget, actually. Wicked Little Lies. Okay. Doo-doo-doo. All right. Well, it's time for some chug hugs. Did you want to go first?
Sure. Um, all the people that have to travel for the holiday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Chub hug. I mean, they're saying today is the busiest day of the year for traveling today.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, doesn't sound fun. Well, it's a good thing we avoided that government shutdown, right? So that people can still fly. Anyway, all right. Well, for me, I have a couple starting with shelter animals wanting forever homes for the holidays. I hope they get them. I hope many, many people adopt them and keep them and give them good forever homes, not just that adopt a puppy or get a puppy for the holiday and then we're
Now I've got wicked little letters, wicked little things,
uh,
and twisted little lies.
hmm. Well, it's probably twisted the lies, I would guess. I
Mm,
don't know. Well,
mm.
I am sure that it will be clarified so that we can find it, or I'll look for it a little bit
Yeah,
later.
you might be able to find it.
Yeah.
It might, yeah. So
So okay. And then also want to send love out to Moose and Michael Sage and just everybody that's been, sending holiday love and happiness our way, and just really, really appreciate everything that you guys do. All right, well, in the news, we start with Pete Hegseth, Trump's defense pick, who says allowing gay troops to serve openly reflects a Marxist agenda.
I don't think that's true, but go ahead.
No, no, I he doesn't
He doesn't
like
know what
most
Marx is. Yeah,
exactly like
it's,
most of them. They don't understand what that is because it's not a good thing. Yeah,
they throw out words that they think are right.
right. That scared our grandparents, but made us go, what? Yeah. All right. President-elect Donald Trump, sorry, promised to enact anti-trans policies on his first day in office through executive orders, including one that will officially recognize just two genders. His remarks came across the weekend during a America Fest 2024 rally in Phoenix, uh, hosted by bigots and racists. According to video shared by C-SPAN, I will assign executive orders to end child sexual mutilation, which doesn't happen. Get transgender out of the military and out of our elementary schools and middle schools and high schools, he told the crowd. Under the Trump administration, it will be the official policy of the United States government that there's only two genders, male and female. And then he said that he's vowing to keep men out of women's sports. With the stroke of a pen on day one, we're going to stop the transgender lunacy, he said. He's such a dipshit. Whatever. Moving on. Let's cheer ourselves up with some celebrity deaths.
Well, witness influencer Miguel Angel Aguilar
Mm.
died at 43 months after being shot in an attempted robbery.
Ugh, awful.
Yeah, that lingering kind of thing is terrible.
Yeah.
Um, Alpha Anderson, she was a vocalist with the group Chic.
Mm.
Freak Out.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
I
yeah.
love that.
So, and disco legend, she died at 78 this week. So,
Well, she brought a lot of happiness to the world. Okay. Well, and then now Tom wants to talk to you about his week.
oh, it's that time already.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Okay. We finished Survivor this week. It came down to the top four were Rachel, Sue, Sam, and Teeny. And so Rachel won the she won the immunity, so she got to go straight to the top three. She got to pick one to come with her, so she took Sue because, well, let's face it, Sue ain't gonna win, and that's the person you take with you.
Mm.
And then that left fire. So during the show, Teeny is they both start. Teeny gets the flame right away. It is just her fire is just starting to roar. Sam can't get his to start. Then the wind comes and blows Teeny's away from the string that it's supposed to hit. Right, even though she's got this commanding lead, she can't get the. What I would have done is I would have stood up and made myself a windbreak because the wind was cheating her of moving to the top three, and ultimately it did, and Sam ended up winning and going in. And then they had they have where they ask them all the questions, and then come the end, it was a one vote for Sam and everything else for Rachel. So Rachel is the new survivor, ultimate survivor. Sue was upset that she didn't get any votes, but honestly, the only reason you take Sue is because you know she's not going to get any votes.
Right.
There's always one of those players. She was she was a follower. I mean, she had her hands in a few things, but nothing that she could assign on her resume. It's like that was me. Let's see. We've got oh, that's right. Queer Eye. Now you're watching it yet?
Yeah.
Are you caught up? Okay.
Nope, go ahead.
Well, there was one guy. He's He's a smaller man. I'm not sure what disease he has, but he's not he's not a small person, but he's also like under 5 feet tall and awkward body shape. So that gave Tan something to work with.
Mm.
And But he was known for the snack attack, and that was his catchphrase. I don't Yeah, it was kind of goofy. And then they had a wedding on the one after that, and the wedding dress was terrible. That's all I'm going to say about that one. And then we watched one last night about this mother who's she works as a with like women's shelters and stuff like that, and her husband just got up and left her with their daughter, and he's just gone. So she lost her house, and she finally got another apartment, and it was just one thing after another. So the boys came in to I'm sorry, they came in to make her life better. They're always nice, even though half the time you're going, I don't what really. I mean, because sometimes it just seems like, okay, this person really isn't that in the dumps, you know.
Yeah.
But who am I to judge, right?
Not a producer on that show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then as we talked about the holiday baking contest, Stephen, the home chef, ended up winning the whole thing, which was delightful because I liked him from the beginning, all they kept calling him was the home chef, the home chef.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. We're all professionals. You're the home chef. So it was kind of nice that he kind of handed the other chefs their hat.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're well into season 2 of Lost. We just got introduced to the people that were in the back of the plane that survived, because the assumption was that the back of the plane was dumped in the ocean somewhere. And so we got introduced to them. We actually saw when they landed, because and it's a year and a half into the show, and this is the first we're seeing of the second part of the crash. So that was fun. And it's Michelle Rodriguez is kind of the head of that group, and I forgot she was even in the show. And I love Michelle Rodriguez. So it's been fun. Silo, I think I don't know if I told you last week, Silo got picked up for season 3 and 4, and 4 will be their final season. So I'm good to go. Masked Singer ended up, the Buffalo ended up winning Masked Singer, and they ended up being Boys to Men.
Wow. Huh.
I mean, it was suspect the whole time that it was Boys to Men, but I could have sworn that some of the Boys to Men have been on before and as solo acts, but I guess not. Or it might just be that every time they have three characters that come out at the same time, it's Boys to Men, it's Boys to Men. Like this season they had Laverne Cox on, and I kept saying, what's going to happen when you get somebody who's transgender who comes out, because a lot of like RuPaul's, can perfectly sound like, she could pass as a guy on the street, and with she doesn't have a higher voice.
Yeah.
So when she sings, her singing voice is not that of a soprano, just because she looks like a soprano.
Right.
So it's kind of fun how that's something that's always going to throw. So I'm always going, what if it's Laverne Cox? What if it's Laverne Cox? And then, of course, it was Laverne Cox. And I didn't even come up and say maybe it was Laverne Cox. So it's always funny because they do it. We do it all the time. So
yeah.
Okay, so we talked about these last week. I remember that. One new Christmas movie I saw is Nutcrackers over on Hulu with Ben Stiller.
Huh. Okay.
Terrible.
Oh.
Well, what happens is he comes to his sister has just died. She doesn't have a husband, I guess. So he's got to come and figure out what's going to be done with the 4 kids, and 2 boys, 2 girls. they've been homeschooled. It's a working farm kind of thing. So um uh yeah, so it was the kids were awful. He's not much better.
Hmm.
We got maybe 20-30 minutes into it and turned it off.
Oh,
It's
well,
just
yeah.
it was just, I don't care if they get better. I don't care if they love each other. I don't like any of these people. Merry fucking Christmas. um let's see, over on I think it was Netflix, Fortune Feimster has
That,
a new show, a new comedy show. It was really good. Part of it was stuff that we had seen her do before live, but not all of it. So there was some new stuff for us, and it's great because she spends a lot of time talking about her wife, and I just love constantly throwing that out there
yeah,
because when people go are talking to me, I go, well, my husband, because I want that to become normalized.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so um yeah, I mean, except when I'm in like a hostile country, I don't do that. But otherwise, yeah, I'm doing it.
Uh-huh.
This week I watched White Christmas. I normally watch that Christmas Eve night, which I might tomorrow night anyway. But it was just, it's one of those things where you sit down. It's kind of like when you go, I'm not really hungry. And then somebody goes, hey, I got some leftover chicken strips. Okay, I'm hungry now. That type of thing.
Yeah.
It was like that. It was like I just wanted White Christmas right then. So uh, also I watched on YouTube Fat Ladies Christmas, Two Fat Ladies Christmas,
Yes.
and I forgot how much fun they were. They really are. They went to uh, 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 I guess it's a church where the boys were the choir, so you got all these like 13-year-olds whose voices haven't changed yet. and
Hmm.
and then it was funny because they decided they were going to make a Christmas goose for the boys, and I'm just, my mind started just going crazy with goosing the boys. So uh anyway, but that's YouTube, and there's quite a few now that I've broken that opening there. They come rushing in, the other two fat ladies cooking shows.
Yeah.
A new show over on Peacock is called Laid, and it's about this woman who two of her exes die. They had sudden accidents or died for some reason, and by the end of the first episode, a third one's dying. So they have now figured that anybody who's had sex with her is going to die.
Oh.
Yes. So uh, interesting little uh, thought. I mean, I've always wanted that. Exes should die. That you either die or you move away. That's just the proper thing to do. So,
Move
um,
away. I'll go for that one. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you haven't had enough X's then. Anyway, we also watched The Last Holiday. That's with Queen Latifah, where she finds out that she's got 3 weeks to live. So she gets all her money and goes to Czechoslovakia to this snowy resort, and everyone thinks she's a rich, powerful woman, and she's just there to die. So
Yes, I watched that a few years ago. I, s- it's so cheesy.
I know, but he likes that, and so if I can get him to watch a Christmas movie,
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's so cheesy, but
it's
I still, it's her and I love her and I don't
well,
know.
and the people that work at the resort are so sweet,
Right.
and they're such
Exactly.
nice people, and it's just yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. Let's see then, but I couldn't believe how thin Timothy Hutton is in that.
Oh, yeah.
His girlfriend in the show is heavier than his waist looks smaller than hers.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird. We started watching No Good Deed over on Netflix. That's with Ray Romano and Lisa Kudrow.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we kind of got distracted during it, so I'm gonna go back and try it again. It's a couple that's selling off their house because they need they're broke, but they've got a Spanish style house in Los Angeles, gorgeous, a lot of history to it, and so they want to find the right couple to buy the house, but at the same time, Dennis Leary shows up and he's got something on Ray Romano, and so all of a sudden there's like bad guys. I thought this was going to be about influencing people's lives by who's going to buy our house, that, and that's not what it was. So that was confusing. And then finally last night we watched Goonies. And talk about cheesy. Oh my God.
I know.
I forgot how cheesy it is. But you kind of get past the cheese factor.
Yeah.
And since it does have one of my close personal friends, Josh Brolin, in it, so that's always fun to see him as a kid.
And my idol for getting older, Anne Ramsey.
You've done a great job.
Thank you.
She's dead. She's been dead for about 30 years now.
Yeah, well, I'll get there at some point, but right now I'm, still working on the younger part. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, she died shortly after. I think it was Scrooge. She did Scrooged, and then she did, I think it was Throw Mama from the Train and Goonies, and then she died shortly after that. But she was on a high when she died.
She was, and she was an amazing character actress, and you knew her. I mean, obviously from the way that she looked, but you knew who she was.
Yeah.
Yeah, loved her.
And other than that, the rinds are made. The first batch of Hello Dollies is resting. The second one will go in today. I totally got distracted yesterday at a party and then came home and we just made a fire and we just, kind of, got high and drank and watched Goonies and just, and then I went, oh my God, I should have had the first Hello Dollies done today, which was yesterday. So the thing is, I cooked them with parchment paper so I can pull them out, but they have to cool to pull them out of the one out of the container, because then I can reuse the container again without having to wash it up and try, because I used to do them raw, like without condoms. So yeah, I'd bareback those Hello Dollies, and so they because of the sweet condensed milk, they tend to stick, and I would usually have to wait like 24 hours to pull them out of there to where they would give. And now I've got parchment paper, and it's all I have to do is wait for them to cool. So that's where I am.
That's awesome. Well, I have been distracted all week for a party that happened yesterday. And I have been so tired since that I woke up this morning and it was probably awake an hour before I realized it was Monday, and we're back.
And I didn't even remember that.
Yeah. So actually this morning when I got up, I felt like I was like just a hair away from starting to pack Christmas up and realize, wait a minute, no, it was just a party yesterday. That's not Christmas. We still got Christmas coming. So yeah. So let's start out with, yesterday was the holiday get together and it was absolutely wonderful. I'd been planning for it, for 2 weeks, but last week, especially the last couple days, was the big push to get all the decorations up and the go do the food and et cetera, et cetera. And it took a lot out of me. And of course, I told Tom, and he's like, "Yes, hosting will do that until you're used to it." And I'm like, "Yeah, because I haven't hosted anything for over 10 years, at least 10 years, if not more."
Well, that's why certain other people don't want to host,
right? Yeah,
because he's got to move everything into that little dining area, the breakfast nook. And hide everything in there to make the rest of the house look you know, I actually I don't know that that's true, but the house is always immaculate. So
Hmm.
I'm either figuring he's very clean or he's really good at cleaning quickly. So
Yeah. Um, so yeah, so the get together was very nice. It was just the usual little crew. And then had our neighbors over. And then there was quite a few people that well, quite a few, another five or so that were invited, but they already had plans or couldn't make it at the last minute. So, but that's fine because we entertained ourselves. We got to catch up with our friend Jason, which was nice. And we, um, poor Mr. Lurie Dean, he was so tired that he went back to grab something about halfway through the party and then fell asleep on his bed and didn't wake up until the party was well done. So, oh, yeah.
yeah,
Anyway,
I was wondering where he went.
yeah, he just went back to like grab something and check on the pup and then sat on his bed and the next thing you know he woke up several hours later. So anyway,
I bet he was back there making love.
well, that would have been a nicer theory than being so exhausted you fall asleep, but yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. So that was lovely and I really appreciated all of that. But while I was right as I was like it was I was slicing some tomatoes on the mandolin just to, get that done right before people got here, and you had just gotten here about 30 seconds after I sliced a chunk out of my finger or my thumb. And let me tell you, I was so pissed because I was thinking about how I was going to be super careful and not do that. And sure enough, I did it and I did a big chunk. So,
And what did I say? I see you go, I just cut a chunk out of my finger and I go, mandolin. And you said yes. And I
yes.
go, well, if there's not, if somebody doesn't lose a tip of a finger to the mandolin, it's not Christmas.
Well, let me tell you, I'm ready to toss that thing. I cut myself on it numerous times.
Doesn't have a
Like,
guard, no
uh,
guard on it
I was, yes, well, no. Well, it has one of those. Are you talking about the push things? So, like,
that holds down whatever you're slicing.
yeah, it has that, and the thing sucks. And the tomato was just getting mushy. So I was like doing it thinking that there was enough tomato that I wasn't going to do that. And sure enough, I did. Anyway, so I had to go through the whole party with applying pressure with a paper towel. And then I'd have to like swap out the paper towel. But finally it got to where I was able to just put band-aids on it. Um, so that was annoying, especially cleaning up, trying to do dishes and stuff, and I'm the only one doing all that. And yeah, that wasn't pleasant. Anyway, but other than that, I haven't had a chance to really watch a lot of stuff this week. I did have one recommendation that I wanted to do before I got into that, though. There's a channel called, and it's the I've Had It podcast, and it's Jennifer Welch and Andy Pumps Sullivan, and they're special guests on I've Had It, and it is two women who they are like the epitome of the what you would think of as the white affluent plastic surgery, like the blonde bleach blonde, just the person you'd be like, oh no, they're Republican. They've got to be a Republican. And they are not. And the thing that I love about them is that they just go on this show and just say, what was it? I think when one of them called one of the Republicans like a stupid motherfucker or something like that, which seems so out of character when you're looking at them saying this stuff. I was like, okay, I'm in. Anyway, they're really good. They're down to earth commentary. It's fun. So I recommend it over on YouTube. I've Had It podcast. Just look it up and give them
That's not on your list.
a thing. No, that was so important. It's X directory. So, all right, next. Um, I've been watching the Doctor Who Christmases. I'm thanking my dear friend Nephi who made sure that I had all of those so that I could indulge. And I am finding that there are some that I maybe have seen once and some that I did not even see at all. I don't know how I
No.
missed them. It's weird because like I watch all the seasons, but yeah, I
It's because
had
you're drunk.
there's girl. I think my life might be a little happier if I could actually, get something out of drinking other than just feeling nauseous. Um, but the Doctor Who's have been really fun to watch. I will say there's a couple that I was like, yeah, I don't like that doctor that much. Sorry, Capaldi. But the rest of them I've been really enjoying, and thank you. It's really been fun. Um, Miracle on 34th Street, the original. I watched that while I was decorating in the front room. It was always a nice watch. I always get a little something new out of it that I didn't hadn't really picked up before out of each watch. So it was fun. Um, and then I watched Dusk Set, which is the Hepburn Tracy romance toward Christmas and New Year's, 1957. And I love it because it is strong women in the workforce doing their thing. And yeah, well, I mean, it's Hepburn. Come on. I've been watching the Bewitched holiday specials, which you can find on YouTube. And the only other thing that I've really watched, other than a couple British holiday shows, is the Holiday Cooking Baking Championship. And I like the main judge who's just so she reminds me of oh gosh, Lindsay Lohan's grand mother, I guess I would say, or Lindsay Lohan in 30 years. But she's just so like she just loves all the cookies. Oh, this is the best cookie ever. It's so wonderful. And then they get the judges on there, the other judges, who are one of them especially was is just such a bitch. She's just like, this is the worst cookie I've ever had in my life.
Wait, no,
Why are
no,
you
no,
even
no.
on this show?
No, the Holiday Baking Cooking Championship is Eddie Jackson and what's her name?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So Eddie's the bitch.
Eddie, you mean the host?
Yeah, there's no
No, I
judges.
like
They're the
him.
judges.
No, I like him, but
There's no judges.
okay, let me just look this up so I make sure
Are
that
you talking about the gingerbread show?
no. Baking championship. Do. Uh it is the one with okay, so Christmas cookie challenge. Okay, is what it's called. And it's got surname Bree. So the host is Eddie Jackson, and
Right.
then Reed Drummond is the main judge, and she's like a TV
But
cooking.
she's the other host. It's just the two of them.
No, they have on two other judges that come on, that guest judge on the show. So Eddie hosts it, and then she is the main judge and sometimes host. But no, no. Okay, so now keep in mind, I'm watching older seasons catching up.
Oh, okay. Well, you
Okay.
might, yeah. Well, that makes
So
a
in the earlier
difference.
seasons, they would have two guest hosts each time, and they would end up circulating them out during every episode. But there's been a couple judges on there that are just like, girl, it's just a sweet little show. You don't have these are like home bakers. You don't have to rip them new ones. Just drive them away from everything. Everything. All right. And that's pretty much what I've been able to watch because I've been spending so much time decorating. But I will say that I've also been listening to my own audiobooks, not ones I've recorded, but the books that I wrote that others recorded for me. You can get them on Audible. And I've been listening to a few of those again, and I have been blessed with some amazing narrators. I love, and it's a true testament to write what you would want to read, because yeah, I'm loving listening to my own stories read by some amazing people. So, all right. And don't forget, if you are a Patreon, you can send me an email and request a code, and I will send you an audiobook. But you have to be a patron to be able to snag that. All right. Are you ready for this? Somebody wrote us and asked for some advice.
Okay.
Dear Matt and Tom, I'm writing to you because I feel completely lost, and I need your advice more than ever. I'm facing the most difficult decision of my life, and I don't know how to move forward. I'm in a relationship with an amazing man from Mexico. He's undocumented, and he came to the US illegally. He is my everything, the love of my life, my soulmate, the person who makes me feel like the best version of myself. I can't imagine my life without him, but I'm terrified. With the incoming Trump administration cracking down on immigration, I live in constant fear that he could be deported. I feel like every day we have together might be our last. Marriage isn't an option for us for a number of reasons, and even if it wouldn't guarantee that he could stay. I feel like I'm running out of options, and the weight of it is all crushing me. If he gets deported, I don't know what to do. Should I leave everything I've ever known, my career, my family, the life I've built here, and move to Mexico to be with him? I can't even begin to imagine what my life would look like there. I barely speak the language. I don't know what I do for work, and I'd be so far from the people I love, but staying here without him feels just as impossible. How can I stay in the only place I've ever known and continue my life as if my heart hasn't been ripped out of my chest? I'm desperate for your guidance. How do I choose between the man who is my heart and soul and I've the life I've spent years building? How do I make peace with a decision that feels unbearable no matter which way I turn? Please, if you have any advice, I need to hear it. I don't know how to navigate this, and I'm so afraid of making the wrong choice. Signed, Torn in Texas. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's really tough. I mean, I would say until the situation comes up, just be thinking on it. But there's no way he can get rid of 13 million people even in 4 years. I can't even imagine that. How do you displace people that way? I mean, physically do that. So, I'm hoping that he's more bullshit than he is, reality. But you can't guarantee that with him. He's got a grudge. Uh, so that's tough. But
Yeah.
if it comes down to, you might think about relocating. I mean, I don't know. It's hard. This is a hard one.
I don't know.
But if it were me, I would probably relocate if the situation came up to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know we have a number of people in our pod community that have done that. I mean, there's Amron
Yeah.
who moved to New Zealand to be with his love, and Tom in Thailand who moved to Thailand to be with his love. So, I
Well,
mean,
Tom and Frank, they moved to with not to be with their love, but they moved there on their own. So I mean, it's not impossible,
right.
and it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't have to be Mexico either. You can always relocate to someplace kind of cool. Go to Canada if you can. Go to England,
Mhm.
somewhere where they speak the language. Australia, New Zealand. I don't know. There's maybe open up to other possibilities, but I would hate being in your situation. But then again, sometimes I feel like we might be in the situation if the Project 2025 does what it wants to do.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is that with the roundup of immigrants, uh, it's less him than it is the two that want to do it under him, and they might really be making a chance to do this. But part of the reason that they want to do it is to try to bring blue states into subjugation too, because we tend to be sanctuary states. But I don't know. But you got to when the time comes that you have to make that decision, you'll make the right one.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but wow, that is definitely tough.
Yeah, come on. We're working with mean mother-in-laws normally. This is a tough one.
I know, I know, but I just my heart goes out to you. Okay, so hey Chubbs, Timothy wants to know if you've created a prestigious entertainment award, what would it be for, and what would you call it? Like a Grammy, Oscar, Tony, etc.
Um, that's a tough one. I do know that when we were in high school, we came up with our own awards, and they were we called them Bernies because our drama teacher was Bernie Cody. And we were thinking Cody's, that's not bad, but Bernie's just sounded right. Um, and that was for acting and productions and stuff. So kind of like a Tony would be. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What about you? What do you think?
I don't know because I think that about all the entertainment awards are pretty much already there, and somebody was giving something for them. Uh, well, it would of course have to be called a Maddie. So yeah, Maddie Award. But I think that actually I don't know about entertainment awards, but I will say that for I would make a nonprofit or a community award, and it would go to uh, people that do the actual work but never get the recognition. You know, the people that the grunts, the oh, you know what? Talking about entertainment, how about a techie award? Nobody really gives techie awards to the people that work backstage that do
Well,
all the work and make all that stuff happen. How
well,
about
the
work?
Tonys kind of do that.
Do they really?
Production design, sound design,
I'm not talking about
choreography.
those have, like I said, those have awards. I'm talking about the
What
ones
you
that,
mean
like, move
Judy
the
the usher?
curtains and push the sets on, and you know,
Yeah,
best
yeah.
best behind the scenes crew that actually made sure that the show went on without, with all the technical stuff. But anyway. All right. Hey, Chubbs, Timothy wants to know what is the modern third space? It used to be work, home, and church slash community. What has replaced church slash community?
Well, see, I think it's work, home, and online because your
Hmm.
social media that's who you are now. that's the community, that's your church. A
Mm.
lot of times that's where you go to communicate with your friends, with your family. That's where, I mean, you spend half your life online. Well, you do,
Yeah, well,
because
it's
you
also my
because
work,
because you're
so
also asleep the other half. So I know that.
that's
So
true.
but that, I think, what do you think?
No, I actually would agree because even if, if you're a gamer and you have like a guild online that you play with and that's a big social circle for you, again, that's on online. So yeah, online, your social media, your email or whatever, that is the other space. Now, not everybody has that. Some people still go to church, but
Right.
you can go to church online too. So
Did you know that there's areas in this country where you can't get Wi-Fi?
I know they're trying to fix that, but it's
Well,
just
no, the
so weird.
Democrats were trying to fix that. The Republicans don't want that fixed.
Well, no, because they want to keep people stupid
Right.
so that they'll vote for them.
Well, because rural radio is mostly angry conservatives. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because nobody wants to deal with them in the city. All right. Hey, Chubbs, Timothy wants to know it's 1984 and like where Wonder Woman was that time. And if you just got a backstage pass to any concert you want, which one would you choose? Okay, 1984. Obviously, for me, it's going to be Corey Hart because that's when he did his first tour, even though some of it was for Rick Springfield, but I wouldn't mind getting backstage passes for Rick Springfield either.
Yeah, I would probably um God, that's I would probably go with Michael Jackson.
Oh,
Because wasn't that when Thriller had just come out?
yeah,
Thriller and Billie
yep,
Jean, and
right around that
it, it
period.
was, we were seeing the biggest album of all times coming into play,
Hmm.
uh, and that would have been fun. I mean, I've seen him in person, because I was thinking, Cindy also came out at that time.
Right? And
Karen
Madonna.
Carpenter was dead, but I'd already seen her.
Yeah.
I saw Olivia Newton-John. I saw Barry Manilow 3 times. Diana Ross. So, but I'm thinking the date, the year is
Hmm.
what's making me say Michael Jackson.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. But that was also, Madonna when she did her, first tour, which I mean, it would be neat to see her in her very beginnings live, but at the same time, it wasn't until Blonde Ambition that I was just like, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. All right. So, here is an I remember, and this one actually comes from Mark, Scott and Mark, and they ask, "Do you remember the first concert you went to?" My first concert I went to was when I was 9 years old, and I would go to blind summer camp every year in Malibu, Los Angeles. One year they took us to see the Spinners and Minnie
Ripperton.
Riperton at the LA Greek Theater. It was
Minnie Riperton was well, first of all, it's Maya Rudolph's mother from Saturday
oh,
Night Live, and she's the one that
huh,
sang "Loving You is easy because you're
because you're
beautiful." Yeah,
beautiful.
so
Okay,
that's yeah, okay.
okay, cool. Um, it was great. It was a great concert, and ever since then, I've been hooked on 70s soul music. But one of my favorite concerts was going to see Pink Floyd in 1994 in San Francisco at Hughes Stadium. Wow, that's a good one. Uh,
That's Sacramento at Hughes Stadium.
oh, Sacramento. Where was Hughes Stadium?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember that. So what was your first and favorite concerts? Thanks. Merry Christmas, guys, Scott and Mark. So my first concert was Melissa Etheridge. It was her Yes I Am tour. So it was the one where she came out and we got great seats. They were kind of considered off to the side and over the tunnel that is in the old King Stadium. King Stadium. That's not what I mean. What do I mean? Arco Arena. So there were like people that were smoking pot down below and would waft up on us. But we could see the stage and her very clearly. And oh my God, that woman can give a concert. I mean,
Well, that's the nice thing about
uh,
Melissa Etheridge is that she, because she's, when I saw her, she was just doing uh, acoustic sets.
mm,
She didn't do any big. She didn't have a band behind her. It was all her, and it was great. And you don't need for her. You don't need a great seat. Any seat's a great seat.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
really good. Yeah.
yeah.
And
It's
so,
brilliant.
what's your favorite?
My favorite was Cyndi Lauper. Because I mean, it was Cindy. I fucking hated those chairs we had to sit in. That was horrible. But I mean, it was the time period, and she was still so rebellious, and she's so good. And she went right by us, of course.
I touched her.
Uh, I wanted to, but then I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to. You know,
Well,
it would have been obvious if I had done it.
I was on the aisle. That's why,
Yes,
because
but
she rushed against me. It wasn't like I took a grab.
right,
Uh,
exactly. So that was awesome, but I think I was one seat in, and it's like,
no,
oh,
you were third seat in.
oh, was I?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, because yeah, you weren't sitting next to me.
yeah. Anyway, that it was wonderful. It was wonderful to see Cindy because I had loved her. She was my first musical love even before Corey. So, anyway, how about you?
Okay, well, I kind of had two first concerts
Hmm.
because my very first one was 1973, and it was up at Sahara Tahoe, Sahara the resort in Tahoe, and my parents took me to see the Carpenters,
Hmm.
and yeah, imagine. Yeah, my first concert, I went with my parents. Uh, what? Well, who was it? It was the Carpenters. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Um, but then my first concert that I went to on my own with somebody else, but not with my parents,
Hmm.
was the Jackson Five.
Oh,
And what
wow.
had happened was my friend had won tickets on the radio station.
Hmm.
And funny story there is we were in the concert, we're during the concert, and it was Memorial Auditorium, and I was probably 8, 10 rows back,
Hmm.
good seats,
Oh.
and what happened was on the Memorial Auditorium, the floor is just folding seats.
Hmm.
So when Michael it was a Dancing Machine. When Dancing Machine comes out, and because that's how they open the show, dancing, 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 and then he comes out, I'm a dancing machine, oh baby, and then all the girls started screaming. They all stood up, all the chairs collapsed,
Oh no.
and I was like arm's distance basically from the stage at that point. It was
Wow.
insane. It was like I'm thinking this is what the Beatles thing was like, where they rushed the stage and it was all of a sudden the floor became a mosh pit basically,
Uh-huh.
and it was crazy. And but gosh, I've had the opportunity to see a lot of really good concerts in the good old days before they became these behemoth nightmares.
Uh-huh.
I've seen intimate concerts with, you know, 50, 100 people in a room.
Hmm.
When I was in Los Angeles, that was Randy Newman. I saw I saw Billy Joel and Elton John in Los Angeles. One at the old, I guess it was the Staples Center at the time,
Hmm.
or and one was down in Long Beach. And I remember I was in the 22nd row seeing Elton John, and when he sings "Goodbye Norma Jean," I saw you from the 22nd row.
Yes.
It's like, oh my God, we're in the 22nd row. And of course, only the people in the 22nd row thought that was really cool.
Right.
But yeah, no, my favorite, I don't know. I don't know. Diana Ross was awfully good, but she got angry at the end, so that kind of pushed that down. Wow, I'd have to think about that more. Uh, yeah. And now I'm doing comedy. I don't get it. Okay. Yeah, it's because back in the '70s they used to have Day on the Green in San
Oh
Francisco,
yeah, yeah.
and it would be like Fleetwood Mac, The Who,
Uh,
um, and they're all playing together. And they'd have like 5 or 6 different, and they start at like noon, and it would end at 10 o'clock. If people are out there just on the ground sitting watching these concerts, and I refused, just refused. Okay, one that was really cool was I got to see Styx in Berkeley, and it was for their Kilroy Was Here concert,
my favorite Styx album.
and they only played 3 venues
Wow.
because they had the for beginning of the show was a 20-minute theatrical piece
Mm-hmm.
where it was about the guy who went to ended up hiding inside of a robot,
Yeah.
looking like a robot, and that's how he became Mr. Roboto. And they acted out the first the whole thing, and then here comes Mr. Roboto. It was very cool, very cool. And people were smoking a lot of pot. I was really high during that.
uh, yeah, that would have been really something. I remember when I got I got the 8 track first, and well, and then when I had the album, you fold out the album and the whole story is there. And it was an experience with them. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you so much, Scott and Mark. That was wonderful, and thank you for everything that you guys sent in this episode, and thank you also to Timothy for those questions. They're always super thought-provoking. Um, let's see. What do we have here? Okay, it's time for what's in your lunchbox. And starting with actually Mr. Mark and wrote in and well, actually says, "Hey guys, Scott and I have been eating some really good and bad food this winter. Kind of a sad Christmas without mom. Aw. Um, We've been eating lots of comfort food. We got a Costco pizza and 2 cookies. The cookies were at Costco are delicious. Getting back to the pizza, when we buy at Costco pizza, we like to take it home and put it on the grill and get the bottom nice and crispy. That sounds really good. That is the best way to eat it. We will deal with the diet in January. Same here. Um, and then sent pictures of those the cookies and the pizza.
I was trying to figure out why they had crossed out the cookie, but they cut it in pieces,
Right.
which now
Yeah.
that makes more sense. And I'll tell you, if you have a air fryer, the air
Hmm.
fryer crisp up the pizza really nicely too.
It's true.
Yeah, because that's especially the Costco one. For some reason, the Costco one in the air fryer just makes it taste so much better.
Mm. And then we have Mr. Moose, who sent in didn't want to cook pizza. Pizza is my go-to meal on nights that I don't want to cook. Ugh, that would be so nice. And that is a gorgeous looking pizza.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. Made big fatty sausage balls today. Well, I think they are close. They are really good. They're big, which is very big fatty. And then Thai chicken and green beans, spicy and good. Mm,
And yum. Look at that.
yes, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Tom, what do you got for us?
Well, what happened was
Ooh.
I had forgotten today was Monday and we were going to be recording. So I went over to Bel Air and picked up some Chinese food so I could have my a Christmas story lunch.
Mm.
And so went over and got some of that. It's Peking pork orange chicken, and I just got the chow mein, and now they don't have that stupid those little noodles like they used to. Look like pubic hair, basically. They're so
Oh,
small.
yeah.
These, because I've been craving noodles lately. I like noodles, like udon noodles, something with meat on it, something meaty. So I've
Mhm.
been wanting that. And then the other one I have is there's a place called Momo's Meat Market,
Ah,
and it almost looks like Moo Moo Meat Market.
mhm.
And it's right over here. They've been here 14 years, and it's basically a barbecue place, but
Mhm.
they don't. It's a takeout barbecue place. So you come in and get it and take it home. And the guy's out there 5 days a week, Glenn. He's got these, the big oil drum um, smokers,
Okay.
barbecuers,
Yeah.
and the food is just flawless. This was a chicken, pork. Chicken, pork ribs, um, beef brisket, and hot links with collard greens and fried cabbage. It was good. It
Yeah.
was really good.
That's it.
Yeah. So, and I did send you pictures from yesterday. I don't know if you
Mhm.
took pictures from the party of the food.
These are much better pictures than I got. So,
Well, then and so you can pop those up online as well.
okay, awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that's of course the food that we had yesterday at the get together. Tom's amazing uh deviled eggs, which I had far too many of.
Oh, did you see I left the ones over on the by the stove for you?
There was some on the table, but there wasn't any on the stove.
No, I moved them at the end of the party.
Oh, okay, okay,
When I
cool.
took the plate, I left them there for you. Now remember,
Yeah.
if you don't, the great thing about deviled eggs, if they're not all eaten, and they usually are, but if they're not
Mhm.
all eaten, the next day you take those bitches,
Mhm.
chop them up, and then make
Ooh,
a deviled egg salad sandwich.
that's a really good idea.
Yeah,
I that they were the ones that you left were pretty much finished off by
yeah, I figured.
yeah. They were really good. And then basically what I did was just made a sandwich spread. I just the whole invite basically said that basic bitch sandwich fixins would be provided, and that's what I did. I had three types of ham, some roast beef, and some chicken, or not chicken, but turkey. Two types of cheese, tomatoes, sprouts for those that don't eat meat or
Now, who did the
lactose.
sprouts? Did you buy those or did you grow those?
Mr. Lurie Dean bought them,
Okay,
and
because
because we both agreed we needed something for the vegans. Were they horrible?
oh no, no, I didn't have any. But when I was growing my own sprouts, that's how they look. They've got really bunched up like that,
Yeah.
and which was kind of nice because it gave it more of a meaty feel to it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't really like sprouts, period. But if I were going to have my sandwich, that would be more something I would want too. And I had croissants and we had Hawaiian rolls and some big French bread, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
So, or sourdough. No, it was sourdough.
Oh, okay.
Um, and so, yeah, thank you for taking those. Those pictures were much better than mine. All right. Next up, well, it's time to send us what's in your lunchbox at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. And thank you guys, everybody that sent us pictures and stuff in. We really appreciate that. And you can go check those out on our Facebook group over at facebook.com/chubsgonewild.
And Matt has a challenge already to watch all the Doctor Who Christmas episodes. So he
Yes,
doesn't need another challenge, but you, our listeners, need to send in some food.
that's
And
right.
I'm talking, it's Christmas. There's got to be something that's pretty. Take a picture of it and send it in.
Yes.
It's easy. And you just, because all you have to do is send those right in to chubsgonewild@gmail.com.
Yep. And then you can find Tom's other podcast at swannerandjudd.com. You can find my other projects at justkisstheguy.com. Find all our links at allmylinks.com/chubsgonewild, and give us an email at...
I just said it. I just said they can send the photos to chubsgonewild@gmail.com.
Along with
What?
anything else that they would like to send us, like Mark and Scott did, and like
Right.
Sean did.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we've be part of the show
And
join in.
I love that we got a lot of stuff from people this time. That was really great. All right, well, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Tom, and have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, and we will catch you just before New Year's for one more episode in the 2024s. All right.
Happy holidays, everyone.
A network of inclusion.
UnivazPods.net.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network.
This has been a For Fuck's Sake production.